Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Raised on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and glories that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, the haunting children's rhymes, that once was Dublin city in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. My name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as could be, born hard and late in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy, like my house that fell to progress, my trade's a memory. I court Peggy Dignan, as pretty as you please, a rogue and child of Mary from the rebel liberties. I lost her to a student chap with skin as black as coal, when he took her off to Birmingham, she took away my soul. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. The years have made me bitter, the gargles dimmed me brain, 'cause Dublin keeps on changing and nothing seems the same. Pillar and the Met have gone, the Royal long since pulled down, as the grey unyielding concrete makes a city of my town. Fare thee well, sweet Anna Liffey, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages that spring up along the quay. My mind's too full of memories, too old to hear new chimes. I'm part of what was Dublin in the rare old time. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times.
An old man was sitting on a bench in Stephen's Green. A young boy walked up and sat down beside him. The old man spoke, and these are the words he said.
I'm a part of old Dublin, part of me struggling. I'm a part of the city that's heaven to me. I'm a part of the old days, part of the old ways. I'm a part of old Dublin, and Dublin is me. I have seen many changes as my town rearranges. It stretches from Tala way down to the sea. But the folks haven't changed much. They're made of a rare stuff. They're part of old Dublin, and Dublin is me. I have known many good times, I've seen lots of bad times, but still, dear old Dublin is a treasure to me. When I go up Mead Street, some old friends I still meet. We're a part of old Dublin, and Dublin is me. I have travelled to far lands, to places that are grand, but still dear old Dublin kept calling to me. Come on home, son, it tells me, come home o'er the blue sea. Come home to old Dublin, for Dublin is me. Now when my life's over, don't lay me in clover. Lay me down where the Liffey flows out to the sea. Lay me where the short pathways go this way and that way. Take me home to old Dublin, for Dublin is me. I'm a part of old Dublin, and Dublin is me.
There's queer things in Dublin, between Howth and Crumlin. Down in Ringsend there's a five-legged cat and a three-legged donkey, a two-headed monkey. There's nothing so queer as his four-faced outlaw. There's a clock in old Dublin that stands on the steeple, proud and erect with four faces so tall. While one of them says, you are late, it's deceiving. The other one says it's a quarter to four. And you run down the road and he grins as you hurry, when just round the corner you're looking surprised. It's not quite the same as it was on the last street. This bloody blackguard is telling me lies. There's queer things in Dublin, between Howth and Crumlin. Down in Ringsend there's a five-legged cat and a three-legged donkey, a two-headed monkey. There's nothing so queer as a four-faced owl clock. There's a half hour to spare. Now how will I kill it? I'll nip up the road, hop in for a jar. With the chimes of 4 bells, I look back in amazement. His other side sure has gone past the hour. There's a lesson in life to adopt and interpret. It applies to all people, regardless their race. Oh, don't put your trust or your faith in the person if sometimes they seem to have a more than one face. There's queer things in Dublin, between Howth and Crumlin. Down in Ringsend there's a 5-legged cat and a 3-legged donkey, a 2-headed monkey. There's nothing so queer as this 4-faced outlaw. There's queer things in Dublin, between Howth and Crumlin. Down in Ringsend there's a 5-legged cat and a 3-legged donkey, a 2-headed monkey. There's nothing so queer as this 4-faced outlaw.
If ever you go to Dublin town in 100 years or so, inquire for me in Bagot Street and what I was like to know. He was a queer one, Follow-diddle-lido. He was a queer one, and I'll tell you. Me great-grandmother knew him well. He asked her to come and call on him in his flat, and she giggled at the thought of a young girl's lovely fall. He was dangerous, Follow-diddle-lido. He was dangerous, and I'll tell you. On Pembroke Road, look out for me ghost, dishevelled with shoes untied, playing through the railings with little children whose children have long since died. He was an Iceman, Follow-diddle-lido. He was an Iceman, and I'll tell you. Go into a pub and listen well, if my voice still echoes there. Ask the men what their grandsires thought, and tell them to answer fair. He was eccentric, Follow-diddle-lido. He was eccentric, and I'll tell you. He had the knack of making men feel as small as they really were, which meant as great as God had made them, but as males they disliked his air. He was a proud one, Follow-diddle-lido. He was a proud one, and I'll tell you. If ever you go to Dublin town in 100 years or so, sniff for me personality. Is it vanity, vape, or now? He was a vain one, Follow-diddle-lido. He was a vain one, and I'll tell you. I saw his name with 100 more in a book in the library. They said he had never fully achieved his potentiality. He was slothful, Follow-diddle-lido. He was slothful, and I'll tell you. He knew that posterity had no use for anything but the soul, the lines that speak the passionate heart, the spirit that lives alone. He was a lone one, Follow-diddle-lido. He was a lone one, and I'll tell you. He was a lone one, Follow-diddle-lido. Yet he lived happily, and I'll tell you.